Here's the turret of my Tiger. The turret was very easy and straightforward to build together. Sadly, there was a 2-piece gun barrel inside, and so you have to glue them together, and you have to send away the seam line on the upper part of the barrel and on the lower part. Be careful then, because you can flatten it out when you sand it too much. So sand it carefully, then put a bit of Tamiya extra thin over it after sanding, and it will normally look quite good afterwards. The turret is made of 2 halves. Whoops, a couple of my brush flown away. It's made of 2 parts, the left and the side part, and you have a seam line between on the back part here, but luckily it is covered by the box. Oh, I think I have to bend and damage the box as well, because I damaged the tank on the backside a bit, and I have to bend normally, then I have to damage the box as well. I think I will do it later. And yeah, here's the small hatch. That's the small escape hatch. And the S-mine throwers on the side are smoke discharges. They were capable to fire both smoke and also the S-mine. Yeah, I also left the hatches open, so you can take a look inside. It's quite dark inside, but you can see one chair in there. And I cut away this chair, because later one of the crew members will stand inside and he would stick too far out when he stands on the chair. So that's it, time to paint. So here we are. My lower hull is completed and ready to paint the lower hull. I left away the towing cable on the upper part of the hull and on the side part of the hull, because I'm not sure if I use the plastic towing cable on the upper part. Maybe I will change them or rework them with a copper cable. And I have to leave away the cable on the side, because I have to paint the tank firstly and then mount, and then I have to mount the cable, because there are some decals on the side that can't mount or can't attach the decals when the cable is on the side. Yeah. So I also left away the S-mine throwers on the side part. Normally they have an S-mine thrower on both front side, on the side and on the back. and I left them away because I think they look a bit odd, and it is also correct when you leave them away. I have a book from the Motorbuch Verlag. Sorry for that little break. I have a book from the Motorbuch Verlag, and it is called The Tiger and His Variants. And there are also pictures, or there are a lot of pictures from the tiger with and without the S-mine throwers on the side. So it's okay to leave them away. Yeah, I also bent the flaps on the side. I left one away. Maybe there was an explosion near the tank, because on the same side or on the same area the rollers were removed and replaced by other colored rollers. Yeah, on the back side I also damaged the Pfeiffer filters, the covering for the mufflers, and the flaps on the back. You have already seen the flaps. And the tubes for the Pfeiffer filters are made from mesh, and I cut them into length and sealed them with super glue. So the paint, when I sprayed it on, would normally suck into it, and it covered it really bad. And so it's a bit easier to paint them when they are sealed. They are not so easy to bend and press together when they are sealed with super glue. You also have to sand a bit on the Pfeiffer filters. There's an ugly gap along the filters from the two parts from the mounting, and you have to sand them away. The other side, I also damaged the flaps on the side, but not so harsh as on the other side. I just took a tool and bent them a bit, and that's it. I left all hatches open. So I have to paint the inner part of the tank as well, because a lot of light is falling in there, and you can see the step from the, you can see it here, this little step you can also see from the inside, from the hatches. Yeah, I also left away the mesh on the on the cooling slots. I haven't got someone, so I think they are normally so fine that you can leave them away as well, or you have to buy some on the aftermarket. Okay, that's it for today. Wish you a nice day. This is the complete model before painting, and yeah, it was really nice to build it together, straightforward. And first I thought I have to put all my German tank crew on the tank, but I think it will be a bit overcrowded, so I changed my mind and I only put 2 persons on the tank to keep the interest more on the tank than on the crew members. I will use the commander, which will stand inside his hatch, like this one. Yes, he is a bit headless at the moment. I paint the heads separately. And one sitting crew member, which is sitting on the gun barrel like this. I think, I zoom it a bit in, sorry, shaky yet. And I think it will look better than 5 crew members dancing on the tank. So that's it. Good morning. Before I start my video, I want to recommend a book. Sorry. And that is from the Motorbuch Verlag. Panzer 6, the Tiger. Yeah, this is. There are a lot of technical information about the Tiger, not about the operations from the Tiger companies or divisions. That's just a purely technical book. So it's pretty hard to find a topic of the Tiger for my Tiger talk, which is not common, like the engine, the horsepower of the engine, or the weight or something else. You can read that on the internet everywhere. So today I want to talk, I want to make it pretty short because the forepart is a bit longer. Today I want to talk about the Pfeiffer filters. Nearly every one of us has got a Pfeiffer filter at home For example, the Hoover vacuum cleaner. The Pfeiffer filters were introduced for the Tigers in 1942 when the Tiger was introduced, because first they sent them to Tunisia, and everyone who was in such a dusty climate know that the engines or the filters suffer a lot from the dust which is flown around there. So the constructor Pfeiffer thought it is a good idea, or the Germans thought it's a good idea to put a second, or in this case a first air filter in front of the normal air filters, and that was the Pfeiffer filter. It's nothing else than a cyclonic filter. There were 20 tubes inside which forced the air to rotate and threw the dirt on the sides, which fell down then, and the cleaned air went to the normal air filters, which were normally oil bath filters or paper filters or made of cotton or something else. Yeah, and that's the whole purpose of the Pfeiffer filters. They were in use in construction for only 1 year, from 1942 to 1943. And so it is common to see Tigers with and without Pfeiffer filters. It depends where the tank was stationed. In the desert areas or in South Russia, Pfeiffer filters were common because they were necessary, because it's very dusty there. But in the North Russia or in France, you can see a lot of tanks without, or Tigers without Pfeiffer filters. The next problem with the Pfeiffer filters is they're made of thin metal, and they are pretty exposed on the backside. So when the filters were hit from artillery or they were shot, they normally so much damage that they can't use them anymore, and they were dismounted then from the crews. Often the crew thought they took a bit of the power of the engine, a bit of the horsepower, because the engine has sucked a bit more air inside, it's harder to suck more air inside for the engine, and so often the crews dismounted them. So you can see a lot of tanks with and without air filters, especially the first ones. Later ones, after I would say 1944, 1945, they normally have got Pfeiffer filters. Thanks for listening.